This is Dr. G again. I hope and pray that your week, your days, your time has been great since you've seen me last. Of course, you know, I'm here to put you on that path to success. And it's all about the journey, the marathon of understanding how your mind works and how it will help you get to your level of success. Boy, I tell you, I've had a lot going on. I don't know about you in your life, but we all are so busy, aren't we? All the time. But I'm telling you, today, I couldn't wait to talk to you today. Today, coming to you, talking to you about this one emotion. Now, I've talked to you about the emotions before, and we kind of went through how to manage those. This one emotion takes over everybody's life. That one emotion that is so huge that it causes all kind of trauma and drama and issues in your life. And it is your enemy to success. It is the enemy of your success. Today, we're going to be talking about fear. That's right. That little 4-letter word that really drives a lot of people in their lives. Fear. How do we get over this fear, this emotion that is our enemy? So, of course, you know me. I'm going to give you that dictionary definition of what fear is. And we're going to talk about how to make fear your friend. Because right now, it's your enemy. And I'm telling you, it is blocking you. It is stopping you from getting to where you want to go, from where you're attempting to go, or where you're paralyzed and not going anywhere. So, fear. It is the unpleasant emotion by the belief that someone or something is dangerous. Someone or something is dangerous and is likely to cause harm, pain, or threat. That's the definition. So fear. Let's try to tackle this thing called fear. First, I'm going to talk to you about real fear. Real fear. Fear is an emotion that we were given because it really helps us. Fear, when it grips you and it grips your body, we're talking real fear. Something that can hurt you or harm you that you know for certain. It is going to cause your body to physiologically react. So your stomach will tighten, your heart rate will increase, your blood pressure rises, you start sweating, you start having all kind of things that happen to you in your body physically when this emotion comes to you. And research really tells us that fear triggers more than 1,400 physical and chemical responses in your brain and in your body. Did you hear what I said? More than 1,400 responses. That's what's happening in your brain and in your body when fear is around. Now, when we talk about real fear, we talk about danger. Fear of dogs, fear of animals, fear of heights, fear of driving in the car on slick ice, driving in the rain, fear that there are people out there that are very dangerous. And so you become afraid of that. All of those things are real fear. Some of you have had experiences where, yes, something has happened in your life that is caused trauma that now you're afraid of. So if you've ever been bitten by a dog, It doesn't even matter that the dog may be this small. You have a fear. What's a real fear of dogs? Some people have a real fear of different types of animals, snakes, other things. Some people are just afraid of bugs. Now I've seen people scream and holler. Now, don't think I haven't at one time. I had a fear of certain types of bugs, things that fly maybe, but that's real fear, because if that thing or that animal can harm you, then that is real fear. We teach our children from the time that they're little. We teach them about the fear of running in the street, the fear, the danger of fire, the danger of water, that water can be dangerous. All of these things now accumulate to real fear. And we know what happens. Fear, the emotion of fear, is put there for a reason, and it's good. Now, we have talked about real fear. Now, the second fear we're going to talk about that is blocking you and stopping you is false fear. That's right. I call it false. It's false. And if you have been around and heard any talks about fear, you may have heard of the acronym of fear, false evidence appearing real. So let me tell you about this false fear and this fear that is not real. Guess what? Your brain doesn't know the difference. So it's going to respond the same physiologically to you. Your body is going to have the same type of reaction. Your blood pressure is going to rise. Your heart is going to start beating fast. Your stomach tightens, headaches. All of these things start happening when the fear is not real. But your body thinks that it is. So now we're going to talk about some of these false fears. And some of you all have a fear of failure. Have you not had a fear of failure? So you don't try something because it feels like if you try, I'm scared that I'm going to fail. Guess what? The opposite of that is fear of success. I know that sounds crazy. We're talking about success and how to get to success. But some people actually have a fear of success. At one point in my life, I remember feeling like, well, if all the things that I'm envisioning and dream to happen, what if they were to really happen? Then I would become this explosive person. And then what would I do and how would I be? That is called fear of success. You don't want to try. You don't want to go after those dreams because you're afraid that, you know what, if I get too big, then I don't know how I'm going to be or what kind of person I'm going to become. So you stop and you don't do anything. Some people have the fear of loss. You've lost a lot in your life. So you always fear that you're going to have another loss. So you're blocked, you're paralyzed, you don't want to do anything because you may lose. You may lose a person or you may lose a thing. I don't want to start a business because you know what? I may lose out on that, which then again ties back to being a fear of failure. This one is big. I could spend the whole time on this, but I'm going to tell you, it's a fear of others, and what they think. Ooh, I tell you what, how many of us are afraid of what people think about you? Social media has taken this particular thing to a whole different level. Because now, guess what? When you live your life on social media, when you live your life, what I call living your life out loud, you're inviting people to have an opinion. When you post a picture on any social media platform, you have invited people in and you're saying, what do you think about this picture? So if people like it, they're saying, I like you. I like the picture. If people don't like it, in your mind, they're saying, I don't like this picture. I don't like you. I don't like whatever. And so that becomes, we all are looking for this validation to happen because we want people to think a certain way. And because of this crippling fear, a lot of times people don't move. They don't do anything. They don't follow their dreams. They don't follow what they want to really do because they're afraid of what other people think. And guess what? People aren't shy to give their opinions about anything. They will tell you in a minute, that's a stupid idea. Why would you think that that would even work? What? There you go again, trying to start something. You always got these ideas in your head. Whatever, all of those things, they get into your brain and they get into your mind and they block you from moving. Now, even more than that, the fear that you have is the fear of oneself. The fear of yourself. I know you're saying now, what in the world? Yes, some of you are afraid of yourself. Let me tell you what that means. You're afraid to find out who you really are. You're afraid of, sometimes it's your genealogy, sometimes the people in your family, and you say, well, my family line, they crazy. And so you're afraid to become that. You are afraid of who you can become. You may be afraid of who you already are. When you look deep inside yourself and you become afraid of who you are or who you could be, which then can tie back to the fear of failure or the fear of success. Now, that one is really deep. And I want you to think about that for a minute. Are you afraid of who you can become or who you really are? Well, now that means you're going to have to answer the question of who am I really? And we'll get into that on another day about really finding out who you are, what you like, who you are at this place in your life. Because guess what? We all change and we change constantly. And so these fears, I mean, there's so many other fears, fear of abandonment, fear of, the things that are around you. Some people become so afraid of other people. They're afraid of other people, not just what they think, but they're afraid of other people and what they can do. And so these things can become really crippling. Fear causes anxiety. All of this anxiety then blocks you. It is blocking your success. So, which category do you fall in? What are you really afraid of? If you weren't afraid, what would you do if you could remove all fear? Now, when I tell you this is a journey, because I've had to go on this journey as well and get to the place where I don't care about what anybody thinks about me. I don't care about what you say. As long as I'm okay with me and comfortable with what I'm doing and where I am in my life. Most of the time, that's the issue. People are not comfortable with themselves. So I'm going to help you to understand how to work through this fear. First of all, I want you to refocus this fear. And I want you to imagine and pretend that you're not afraid. Pretend that you're not afraid. Remember I told you your brain doesn't know the difference? You can trick your brain into not being afraid. When they do all of these tests and things and people have these phobias, they put them in the environment. If they're afraid of heights, they take them high. If they're afraid of certain type of animals, they'll put them around them so that they can get past that and they can switch their minds and pretend that they're not afraid. Trick your brain. It can get there. I want you to ask yourself the question, fear is something. Is it real or is it imagined fear? Most of the time, your fear is imagined. Ask yourself these questions when you start feeling your heart racing and it's beating fast. What do you need to do about that? And let me tell you, ask yourself the question, what is the worst that can happen? What is the worst that can happen if I do go after this dream? If I do follow this pathway, what is the worst thing that can happen? And the other thing I want to tell you, this is huge. This is big. This will help you get to success and help you make fear your friend. Fear is high when the knowledge you have is low. The more knowledge you have about something, the less fear you have. So if you're afraid of something, study it, find out about it. Because when you increase your knowledge, you're going to decrease your fear. And that is what's going to help you to unblock all of this imagined and false fear. I need you to get rid of that. We're on a pathway to success. Okay, fear, come on now. Come on, fear. You're our enemy. Because I'm going to make sure and pretend that I'm not afraid anymore. I'm telling my brain that. Work on that this week. When you come back, we're going to have some different kind of courage. I will see you on the other side. Remember to like, subscribe, share. Go to my website, dr.gladney.com. Get your free ebook. See you later.